Hello, this is part 2 to my 2023 Australian Grand Prix, and now I'm going to talk about why did Carlos Sainz get punished with a 5-second penalty which dropped him from P4 to P12. I mean, yes, it was arguably his fault for making contact with Alonso, understeering into him, and of course causing Alonso to spin. But honestly, it was a racing incident. I don't think there was any malice intended by Sainz. I mean, you have to realise Sainz had nowhere to go. He was on the inside line for turn 2. Alonso positioned his car on the outside of turn 2. And Alonso came out and apologised to Sainz for what happened, since, of course, they're all mates off the track. Of course, the FIA, I think the only reason why the FIA punished Sainz is because they're covering their own backs for some shocking stewarding decisions today. And the worst thing about it is that when you consider the fact that incident took place on lap 57, and then they decided to red flag the race and then restart it after the end of lap 56, it means that technically what happened with Sainz and Alonso on lap 57 then got cancelled. So they're giving Sainz a penalty for an incident on a lap that got cancelled. That's even stranger than what I saw at the 2003 Brazilian Grand Prix 20 years ago. Oh my word, the FIA, what are you actually doing? Like, do you even know your own rule book? I mean, you gave Ocon a couple of 5-second penalties at Bahrain, and then you did the same for Alonso, only to then be forced to give the podium back to Alonso because it turns out to be in the rule book. It's either a disqualification or no penalty for an incident where a driver incorrectly serves his original stop-go penalty at pit stop. I just don't know anymore. You really are a clueless organisation. You only care about your Netflix documentary Drive to Survive nonsense. You don't care about the sport. Oh, man. But having said that, though, let's go through the scores again. Max Verstappen, 10 out of 10. Lewis Hamilton, 9 out of 10. Alonso, 8.5 out of 10. Stroll, 6 out of 10. Do not be fooled by his finish today. He was terrible. 5th place, Perez, 6 out of 10. 6th place, Norris, 10 out of 10. 7th place, Hulkenberg, 9.5 out of 10. 8th place, Piastri, 8.5 out of 10. 9th place, Joe Guanyu. And apologise for the fact my video cut out after 7 minutes on the original take. Of course, Joe Guanyu, 8 out of 10, drove a solid race. Alfa Romeo had the worst call all weekend, and yet he managed to snatch 2 points thanks to the absolute fiasco in front of him. Very lucky to score those 2 points, but he was there to capitalise and score some valuable points for the team, considering they have not developed their car very well since the first half of last year. Yeah, I've got to say I don't find Joe and Bottas to be a particularly great driver partnership, but you're at least reliable. Because let's be honest, that car needs serious improvement, and it does look like, Sauber are just waiting for Audi to take over at this point. 10th place, Yuki Tsunoda, 8 out of 10. I think AlphaTauri have now got the very worst car on the grid, but Yuki Tsunoda has been outpacing De Vries in every race and every qualifying session so far. He's been solid, consistent, dependable, things that we've not necessarily given Tsunoda credit for in his first 2 years, but he's beginning to mature. He looks a lot more level-headed. His emotions are under better control. So yeah, good job, young man. 11th place, Valtteri Bottas. This is going to be harsh, but it's 5 out of 10. He was running towards the back the whole race, fighting with Logan Sargent, showing no pace at all. And thankfully, he didn't score any points. And let's be honest, I mean, I don't really know whether he cares anymore. He just looks like he's already hit the hobby phase of his career. Don't know. I think this is going to be his last contract in Formula 1. 12th place, Carlos Sainz. it's got to be 8.5 out of 10. Made 2 impressive overtakes on Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly. That overtake on Gasly was arguably his very best career overtake in his 8 years of F1. Did the dummy on Gasly and then dived down the inside into turn 3. Fantastic late braking maneuver. But unfortunately, the restart, as you know, went horribly wrong, and the FIA, being absolute chumps and clowns, decided to give a 5-second penalty where they should have never they had no reason to throw any red flags today. I mean, they could have easily, did what they did last year, not last year, 2021 Qatar, where, I think there was a red flag and just got all the cars to, like, drive around it, go through the pit lane, well, not go through the pit lane, but just very carefully, like, drive around Albon's damaged car. Then, of course, Kevin Magnussen's accident, wheel on the track. All they had to do was push the wheel off the track. And with only 4 laps to go, I mean, they could have easily declared it a result by then anyway. And given the actual real result, which was, of course, the current podium, and then, of course, 4th place Sainz at the time, Pierre Gasly in 5th place at the time, and Stroll in 6th, because let's be honest, Stroll, that was about as much as Stroll deserved. And then, of course, 7th was, I can't even remember now, was it not Norris? Oh man, I can't remember. Oh, whatever, it's been a long day. But anyway, Sainz, very unlucky. They threw him on the bus because so many cars had their races ruined by the bunching up of the pack. Oh God, I've already gone through it. And then, of course, the retirees, Logan Sargent, 1 out of 10, moaning about the car all weekend, miles off the pace in comparison to Albon, saying the car was not good. My God, you sound like the new Nikita Mazepin at this rate. I mean, okay, you're not as slow as Mazepin, but still. Shocking attitude and not a particularly great driver. Then, of course, Nick de Vries. I don't know, 6 out of 10. Didn't see much of him, but he is very much second best against Tsunoda. And Logan Sargent gets my reject today, and my driver of the day goes to Hulkenberg. I forgot to say I apologise. It's been a long day, like I said. So many incidents. Goodness me, just a joke of a show. And of course, the 2 Alpine drivers, Pierre Gasly. God, oh my God. I'm gonna give him 8 out of 10. He doesn't get a penalty, thankfully, but of course he does still have, like, I don't know, he still has 10 penalty points as his license, which only start to disappear after Imola. He's a lucky boy, to be honest. You could argue he should have been given a penalty, but because of the circumstances of him being so close to losing, to being banned, they decided to be lenient on him again, and the fact that he obviously didn't intend to take Ocon out, because Gasly is not a malicious driver, but I would admit he has had moments of negligence. Ocon, 7 out of 10. Yes, I know he got blocked in Q2 when he got knocked out there, but still, I mean, the best drivers find a way of squeezing into Q3 regularly, and he failed. He was running P10 before the second red flag came out. That should have been where he finished, but of course the FIA struck again. Like a bunch of geniuses. Whatever. Other retirees, what was their names? George Russell broke down with an engine failure. Very alarming for Mercedes, I've got to say. 9 out of 10, because of course he was running 5th, but he should have been in the top 3. Had they not thrown a red flag for a pit stop he had already taken, dropping him down a pack. The FIA do not think about these things. I think about past races like Nelson Piquet Jr.'s crash at the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix. Tight street track covered in concrete walls, deliberately threw his car in the barriers, and they threw out the safety car despite the fact there was debris everywhere. And he threw a red flag for Albon's crash. What on earth are they playing at? Oh my goodness me. And of course, the whole Qatar thing from 2 years ago. Safety car. There was no red flag, there was a safety car. Like, God, no consistency with this organisation that we call the Federation International Automobile. Yeah, what else? Albon, 8 out... Can I give him 8 out of 10 for his qualifying performance? I think that was the best qualifying performance I've seen in over a year, to be honest. I mean, it's far better than Max Verstappen's phantom pole position at 2021 Saudi Arabia. I don't know why there's so much hype over that performance. I mean, he nearly binned it at the end. But of course, Albon, as you know, binned it in the race. Running up in P6, overtaking Stroll. Oh, man, I'm so sad. Oh, yeah, Kevin Magnussen, another retiree. I've got to give him 5 out of 10. Just no pace at all. Really slow. Getting blown away by Hulkenberg again in terms of raw speed. This could be the last time we see Magnussen in Formula 1, to be honest. He really is now getting outclassed. Now that he is a teammate who is substantially better than the likes of Grosjean and Mick Schumacher, yeah, his level is now getting exposed, and I don't know whether he can really have a chance of being up there ever again. I forgot, I mean, Albert, and of course, yes, the first lap crasher, yes, Charles Leclerc. Oh, man, I've got to give him 6 out of 10. Got out-qualified by Carlos Sainz. And then made a very basic mistake, making contact with Lance Stroll. Trying to go towards the inside of the track, but then making contact, spinning his car in the gravel trap at turn 3. Just 6, too nice. I'll give him, but no, I'll give him. It's a difficult one because Lance Stroll was in his way, but at the same time, though, it should be more like 5 out of 10 because the lack of awareness with Charles Leclerc in these sort of incidents is becoming alarming. And frankly, I mean, I feel sorry for the lad because, of course, Ferrari are wasting his career away, but he also does make some pretty bad errors at times. So, yeah, it's a 5 out of 10. What a sad weekend, to be honest. We had a great race, but it was all ruined by that final, by that post-red flag restart for Magnussen's crash. Load of nonsense. I'm not interested anymore. Thank you for watching and see you again next time here at Crystal Racing.